And the recording has begun. Welcome to Lucky Session 13. Even though it is the 14th session. That's because we have a session 0. Alright, so we've been having a discussion offline about the format of handing out experience points. We're going to be changing that up. So just to bring everyone up to speed and to put it on the record, instead of awarding experience with a discussion and sharing at the end of the session, we're still going to discuss and share, but we're not going to award experience. We will instead award experience at the beginnings of sessions through the retelling. Now, last session, everybody was playing as all of their characters, so that would be a little complicated. But if anyone wants to sort of bring everybody up to speed, make sure everybody understands what's going on with a quick retelling of the key points of what went down last session, that would be appreciated.
All right, last session we had the Festival of the Harvest. We basically, the first thing we did was we basically did a bunch of events where we quote unquote balanced it by enhancing ourselves with drugs and also fiddling with stuff, which followed with some of us doing some event, like doing some show stage stuff, which was followed up by the amazing singing of one of the youngest little ones. It was going all well until we saw literally the moon fall out of the goddamn sky, which at that point time froze and 2 of the characters got in contact with some kind of strange being, and they learned a bit more about their fate. And then time unfroze, and we all got to go back home and eat some ice cream. And I think that's basically the keynotes of the last session.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. The moon fell out of the sky, and in particular it fell out of the sky right at the end of Mangra's song. And so Mangra now believes that it's her fault.
For all we know, that's true.
Yeah, for all anyone knows, that's true. It's, I mean, what makes a moon fall out of the sky, right? Nobody knows. And unfortunately, the adults are pretty much useless in explaining this. This is outside of their experience as much as anybody's. Miss Maybell did eventually gather you all up, although she can't find her glasses. And she did bring all of you back to the orphanage. Did anyone who knows where Miss Maybell's glasses go want to tell her what happened?
Yeah, definitely Zara is going to share that with Miss Maybell.
As well.
Okay. In that case, then, she's not at all
Dragon
worried
Lady
about what happened to her glasses, as clearly...
Dragon Lady took your glasses.
She knows who Dragon Lady is. She's like, okay, that's fine then. They were her glasses to begin with. I was just borrowing them.
Zara's going to ask Miss Maybell who that lady was. Basically, I'm just wanting to download some information into Zara's brain that she didn't get last time. Like, who the heck was that, and where are they located?
So Miss Maybell, as she's gathering up all the kids to bring you all back to the orphanage, kind of in a hurry, she does tell you her name is Sigurd. She is the ruling lady of a city called Garathan to the north. Far to the north. Past the Troll Mountains, and then again past the mountains after that.
Zara acts really surprised by all of that information.
Ness looks confused. It's like, how the bleep did she get here?
Miss Maybell's immediately, reflexively says language, and then she says she has a great deal of magical power. I'll tell you all about my journey there tonight, if we can. If not tonight, then tomorrow. There's a lot going on. It is a bit disconcerting that the adults of the town seem to be panicking. One of the big questions the adults are all asking each other is, who the hell is Harving?
Mari shrugs and says, "Things fall down from the sky all the time. My uncle died and the sky fell on top of him. I mean, people just need to be more careful."
Yeah. Maybe the little one is like some kind of like, what were they called? Aphthic? Those magical people, you know, the ones that like sing hero stuff. Maybe she's saying so powerful that she caused the moon to fall, which is pretty epic.
Miss Maybell knows exactly who Harving is and has books about her.
Because yeah, there's tales of the grand bards that can cause like things like this.
In that case, does Nest know who Harvey is?
Probably.
Leica does.
Yeah.
That's Leica's hero.
Oh, in that case, take it away.
Harving made a great deal of effort to make sure everyone in every town she ever visited knew who she was.
Indeed.
And in particular, who the great heroes she traveled with were. Alright, upon arriving back at the orphanage, Mangra climbs out the window of her room onto the roof and just starts howling at the sky. At the two remaining moons. This is upset Bibbin, who's now crying, yeah. Miss Maybell looks like she's got her hand full. Coddle and Cam are trying to get something akin to a dinner together, but they're also whispering to each other, like, what the hell just happened? What was that? Are we at war? What's going on?
If possible, I'd like Nest to try and help with dinner.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make a crafting check.
This is not going to go well. What? So I don't have crafting, so...
Couldn't it be argued that you do use artistry?
Yes, absolutely. Artistry is the skill to use when you're making delicious pastries.
I don't have that either. Can I make a leadership roll to try and get the adults to like focus up and like there's children to feed here? Like I walk in there and go, guys, there's children to feed, and starts like grabbing ingredients and handing them out.
Okay, go ahead and make a leadership check to assist Coddle and Cam. Okay. You definitely accelerate their efforts. They speak less of current events and more of getting dinner together. Meanwhile, on the roof, Mangra's howls are starting to get choked up.
Are we playing every character right now?
Yes, you've got access to all of them.
Okay.
I think Francis was helping Mangra last time, so Francis will go check on her, like following the noise to go console her.
You see her curled up on Miss Maybell's lap, up on the roof. her brother, her twin brother, well, not exactly twin, her brother from the same litter is there trying to help make her comfortable, but doesn't know what to do. And Bibbin is clutching Miss Maybell's sleeve and just crying. Bibbin is only about 2 years old.
Yeah, so is it clear that she's crying because she thinks she caused the moon to fall into the world?
That is what it appears, from what you've heard her say so far. It may be more complicated than that, but you'd have to talk to her to find out.
Yeah, I'll actually just ask her, like, hey, what's wrong?
So what you get from the conversation is that she believes that the owl spirit was angry at her song, didn't like her singing, and because of that, the owl spirit sent away the moon that her song was supposed to meet her mother's song over. And so now her song will never meet her mother's song. And she's afraid that if she sings, the owl spirit will send more moons out of the sky.
So right now I'm going to try and I guess deceive her. So I'm basically going to, like, Miss Maybell's there. So I'm going to look at Miss Maybell and go, well, you know the owl spirit, right? That can't possibly be true.
Okay, go ahead and make your deception roll. This would be persuasion plus cunning. You could use empathy instead of cunning if you desire. Tice, to answer you about their favorite flavor, it is beef.
Fail.
Okay. You piece together some kind of lie. But, yeah. Miss Maybell tries to help you out a little bit, understanding the direction you're going with that lie. It's like, you heard the voice, Mangra. The owl spirit was sending the moon to help that gentleman named Gunthar. He had to fight the same evil, the same bad guy that your mommy's fighting. So I'm sure the owl spirit will put your song over one of the other moons to meet your mom's. This is not helping Mangra. She's not able to howl anymore. Her throat has closed up from the stress.
Do we have the does she want to sing or does she want to try singing?
Right now, she just wants to make noise. It's not exactly singing.
Don't we still have that remedy from last session because she didn't use it?
Yeah, if anybody comes to the kitchen and tells Nest that they need it, Nest will happily give it to them. Nest wants to be there with Magra, but Nest is also very conscious that there's a lot of hungry kids, and is
Yeah, I guess,
prioritizing
like,
that.
unless someone else was interested in doing that, I could have Francis, like, recall that and just start heading in that direction.
Okay, you go and fetch the medicine. Miss Maybell is very impressed that you guys even had such medicine. She wasn't aware that that was something that Mangra might need. So that's you definitely earned some plus points for that. She applauds your initiative. Mangra recovers her voice, which means she's able to howl some more. But it at least gets a little bit out of her system. Helps her vent as she howls at the sky. Is anyone near the front yard?
Yeah, I mean, Reggie's going to be standing outside looking up at this guy.
Okay. So Reggie would see some flashes of light as 2 Crimson Guard agents are teleported into your front yard. They clearly were not the ones who cast the spells. They're still looking around a little disoriented from the teleport. But having arrived, they take in the sights and step forward and say, "Is this the White Owl Orphanage?"
Reggie points at the sign.
Excellent. we need to speak with the operator, the head of the orphanage, whoever's running the show. Please.
Reggie points at the door.
Thank you. They walk right past you. They enter the main room. They see sort of the chaos of children. Coddle and Cam desperately trying to get things together, and they try to address Coddle and Cam like, excuse me, who's in charge here? But neither of them are in charge. They both kind of point upstairs. It's very likely that without assistance, these guys are just going to wander around the house because they don't know to look on the roof.
If things seem under control, Nest will take them up there, I think.
Okay.
I'll also have Whoppy riding around their feet, talking about becoming a dragon again.
These are trained soldiers. They know that dragons are real, and their response is, that would be extremely useful to the war effort. Thank you, son. Okay, so you lead them out, and they find Miss Maybell, and when they do, they're insistent that they have a private conversation with her about a serious matter. Miss Maybell is unwilling to leave Mangrove's side while she's upset. And yeah, they're being really pushy about it. But Miss Maybell catches you, actually, and says, Nest, can you take care of Mangrove for a little bit?
Sure. And, like, I guess picks up Magra, like, takes her elsewhere? Is there another place to be on the roof where I would be in the way?
Yeah. It's surprising how light Mangra is. She will not be this light forever. At 5, she's it's sort of shocking that you can pick her up. But, yeah, in a few years, you're never going to lift her again.
Not that many years.
not many years, yeah. Like 2 or 3,
They
maybe.
grow quick, yeah.
Yeah, right now she's like those big dogs that are mostly fur, but when her musculature starts to grow in, because right now her bones are mostly cartilage, but when they start to reach full size, they harden, and then her muscles come in, and she becomes a gnoll, like an actual true monster.
We call them skulls on Talus, so we don't get sued.
Oh, okay, skulls. All right. We'll have to retroactively update all the notes on that. All right, so Miss Maybell has gone off to have her private conversation with these Crimson Guard persons who have come in. And the evening kind of falls into place eventually. It's still chaotic. The adults are still tense. Nest, are you going to do anything to try and calm Mangra down? And bear in mind, you have access to all of the other players and all of their characters to assist you.
Yeah. Oh, I think Bax would probably be the most helpful, because Bax was also there, and Bax is used to giving Magra a pep talk.
I'll try.
Bax's hero is Gunther, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gunther's the one who sent out that message that said, I'm about to die so that I can chase a mummy king into the afterlife to kill his god.
Which is pretty metal. And Bax, as sad as Bax is at the prospect of Gunther dying, like the fact that he's dying in such a heroic way and to save so many lives is just like really empowering, you know?
Okay. If Bax is looking at it that way, then Bax is probably not being emotionally damaged by the situation. It is pretty metal, what he's doing.
I mean, it's almost like he's not even dying. He's just transcending and going to chase in another dimension. You know what I mean? Like,
time is but a window, death is but a doorway. I'll be back.
yeah. I don't have any. I have a propriety of 1 as Bax, so I don't know. How I'm going to help, but I'll do my best. Leica has better empathy and better persuasion, so.
Does anyone have a good idea of what to tell Mangra or what to ask her to do to make her feel better?
Kylea was thinking of making a meat flavoring substitute and putting into ice cream to try to give her something to like. 'Cause ice cream always helps cure something, so I was going to make it meat flavored. That's why I asked what her favorite flavor was.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make an alchemy check. See if you can figure out how to make ice cream beef flavored. It may be awful for all the humans, but for the skulls, that's going to be delicious. While Khalil works on the ice cream, did Bax want to give a pep talk?
Yeah, I'll give it a roll. So
By asking you to give a pep talk, can I make a leadership roll to have assisted in some way?
Yes. Yes, you may.
So can I guess I'm using my empathy here.
Yes, I would also like to hear what your pep talk is so that I may or may not assign pips as a reward for a good pep talk.
That's the stretch then. So
Okay, I will do my best. Bax takes a little seat next to Mangra. It says, "Hey, Mangra."
Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, Mangra, I saw your performance last night. That was amazing. I'm so glad we all got a chance to practice together. And thank you for being patient with us. I know things are really scary right now. And I know a lot of weird stuff is happening. But it's pretty amazing how powerful your song was. I'm sure your mom heard that. I mean, who could miss it from multiple? They probably saw that from across the ocean.
Okay, I heard 4 pips worth of good stuff in that. So go ahead and add 4 pips to your roll there.
Okay.
It may be overkill, and I don't even know if it's possible. But Francis had followed along. If Francis were to like react to this pep talk in a positively affirming way, would there be any tips to add to that?
As much as it saddens me that humans are susceptible to that, you're absolutely correct. Having a yes man planted in the audience applauding when you say stuff absolutely works. So go ahead.
Awesome. Is that a roll or just pips?
You're going to roll to give pips.
Okay, so in this case, I have a question. So I'm already getting a lot of pips. I've got pips from my Gunther outfit. I don't know if I can argue benefit from that. I have a propriety of 1 and an empathy of 1 as Bax.
Okay,
so that's all I've got.
You get your 1 success. Well, you're rolling. What are you rolling? Your propriety plus what?
Empathy, I guess.
Okay. So what's the total number of dice?
2 dice.
All right. And how many pips do you have?
Well, 4 from my outfit, if I can argue a use for that. I doubt it, but I definitely got 4 pips from my conversation, my pep talk.
So it is still technically possible for you to only get 1 success on that. So go ahead and roll and add the pips, just in case.
Yeah, and I got 4 successes on my meat ice cream.
2 successes.
Perfect.
And no pips needed.
Francis just started booing. That's what.
Yeah, seriously. Come on, Fred.
Now see, in Fluid we don't do that. We don't give you penalties for failing when you're helping. But there's another role-playing system that we've done before where I believe it was called Despair, where everything was meant to destroy you. And we absolutely would, like when somebody would offer to help, we would give the person doing the action the option to decline the help, just because if the helper screwed up their roll, it would actually give penalty dice.
Yeah, there was a couple of situations where you're like, yeah, actually, I don't, thank you, but no thanks.
Yeah, I love that system. That's a great system. But
Yeah,
but
that's
in this system, no harm, no foul.
That is pretty hilarious because, like, it is feasible that you could try and help and actually make things worse.
Oh yeah, the narrations for that are awesome. All right, so let's see. We got successes, and then we got 4 successes for crafting the meat-flavored ice cream, which is excellent. Okay, so Mangra is calm now. She's not howling. She is receptive to input. So Nest, if you would like to now actually give her an alternative narrative to the one she constructed for herself, where she ruined a song so badly that she made a spirit throw a moon out of the sky in anger. You may now present your alternative narrative, and she will likely believe you.
Well, you see, Magra, your song wasn't. It was bad. Oh, it was fantastic. Everybody was enthralled by it. And I'm sure the owl spirit was as well. And but spirits are very busy, and they have a lot of obligations. It's, in this case, apparently, s- Gunther, as I'm sure you are familiar with from Miss Maybell's stories. I don't know if Miss Maybell's told the stories or not. Um, needed help from the moon, and but the owl spirit's very good at disseminating, or not disseminating. I
Boy,
went
that's
to
a
adult voice
vocabulary
there.
word for these kids.
Sending out everybody's message that everybody needs it. So Gunther needed the moon, and I'm sure that your mother got the song too. It just, was very dramatic, and it got overshadowed. You did fantastic. You're well. I'm sure it'd be absolutely fine if you wanted to say it again tonight.
Mangra thanks you and believes you, and basically just kind of holds on to you, and after maybe 10 or 15 seconds is asleep. Just clutching onto you still, but completely passed out.
At some point, I think Ness is going to fall asleep on the roof.
Miss Maybell has seen you, saw what you did, and comes over and picks up Mangra and says, "Thank you. I think this has made a decision a little easier for me. Let's get everybody to bed. We'll have a nice big dinner and get everybody to bed, and then I'll tell you guys all about what's happening tomorrow morning." And so she does exactly that. Coddle and Cam have eventually finished making something assembled in the vicinity of dinner. It's definitely food, for sure. There's no particular theme, flavor, or organization to it the way Miss Maybell would have done, but it is, yeah. They took stuff out of the cupboard and put it on the table, basically. And everybody eats up, everybody gets a rest, and because you stopped Mangra from howling, everybody actually regenerates 2 tags. Because if Menger was still howling, there'd be no way any of you could get a good night's rest. In the morning, everybody comes down for breakfast, and Miss Maybell has an announcement. The two members of the Crimson Guard are still there. And Miss Maybell says, so I've been talking with our friends from Salibrae, and we don't think that it's safe for us to stay here anymore. The incident last night, while probably a good thing overall, does mean that the bad people that were spreading the plagues are going to come and try and get some revenge for Gunthar's actions against them. So we're going to need to go live in the city. And this is a very hard thing for me, because a lot of my abilities are not going to work in the city. So it's time for me to explain to you a little bit about who I am and what I can do. So she takes out her staff, says, this, I'm sure you've seen me using, this is Sappers. Sappers used to be an elf. Sappers did some bad things, and the hero Palladia put Sappers into this tree, and her staff grows roots and roots itself into the floor of the house. Says, Sappers has been helping me because Sapper can shape wood and shape trees. And Sapper has been making up for all the bad things he's done by being a very helpful little tree. I don't actually have any magic powers. I've been faking it. And everything that the grown-ups in the town think I can do, I can't really do. But I can only fake it out here in the wild, where Sappers has access to the trees and nature and stuff. When we get into the city, I'm not going to have access to that. People won't be afraid of me because they think I have powers I don't have. And so we're going to have to all look out for each other. Can everybody do that?
Yes.
Yes, Miss Maybell.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Reggie just says, where in the city?
We're going to be in the middle ward. We are taking over an abandoned mansion that used to belong to one of the noble families belonging to the mining cooperative. They have been not exactly disbanded, but disavowed by the city government. And so the property has come under control of the city government and has been granted to us to use.
Raxi, who presumably doesn't know that Lorpin is coming along, is just crying. It's like, I don't want to go.
I know. I don't want to go either. This town is my home. I grew up here. I know the people here so very well, which honestly is how I was able to manipulate them to think I had magic I didn't have. But the risk here is too great. And I wish that we could stay here. I wish that I could continue to trick them into being afraid so that they would never harm you. We're going to have to find another way. But I'm not going to leave you. I'm coming with you. And I'm going to go talk to some people in the village and see who else is going to come with us. Because this is not a safe place anymore.
Did she say it was the staff in the area, or it was the tree?
She said it was the staff. She says the staff can reshape trees. Did you have a question for her?
I was trying to think of who's asking this. But I think just I think it was just going to be Crystalzar, just asking, like, can't we bring like anything with us so that you could do something?
She says, I am going to bring the staff. The building that we're being granted does have a courtyard, and I'll plant sappers in the courtyard so the sappers can continue to exist. But there's no great forest there. It's a city. Sappers will have very little power there. We'll gather up as much of Sapper's energy as we can. Unfortunately, a piece of Sapper's broke off into a troll, a wood troll. That I'm sorry, I did leave you. She gestures to Mari. She says, I did lead you to believe it was a tree spirit. It was a troll, but Sappers tried to take over the troll, and a piece of Sappers broke off in the troll. So part of Sapper's spirit is guiding the troll to be nice-ish, but that has weakened Sappers, and so yeah, without a great forest around for Sappers to command and gain energy from, Sappers will be a very nice sapling that will grow us a few apples a day, but that's about it.
Well, they might destroy the city, but if the people are still alive, isn't that what is the most important part of it?
That is the most important part. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that many of the townfolk will see it that way. Some of them may try to stay, and that may be their doom. If you kids could spend the day with me, helping convince as many people as possible to come with us, I would really appreciate it if as much as my home was able to survive this calamity as possible.
Elros says yes. And I don't know, but we should be truthful as we can, because then you can prove how much you're sacrificing to be moving yourself to convince more to come.
This is kind of ridiculous, but I kind of want like Zara, and if Nest is interested, Nest can also join in to kind of start up like a fortune teller like setup where we basically, convince the town that we foresaw this event and then like tell their future, but tell them this like ridiculous grave future where like they die if they stay.
That's a tough ask for Nest to lie like that.
Yeah, that's what the biggest thing I'm worried about is being able to actually persuade people. I have a 1 persuasion.
Oh,
I
man.
think Nest will be better off using. Nest also has a 1 persuasion, but I think Nest will be better off with leadership roles because that's what Nest does.
Leadership and honesty.
Yeah. If nobody stops her, Araxi at that will jump up and go, I'm going to go talk to Lorpin, and then runs out.
Totally fine.
Of the
That's, yeah. Miss Mabel's like, okay, go talk to Lorpin. It's good.
Wampy and Nest are all on board with this, I think.
All right, so let's get a quick rundown of who has spent one of their renown points to acquire one of the villagers from this Oakbrine village to be a mentor. I know Lorpin and Pankel are on the list, right?
I have not.
Yeah, Panko and well, Cam was leaving anyway, but yeah.
So Pankel is which of your characters?
Glups.
Okay, so it was Lorpin, Pinkle, and there was one other?
I believe Cam.
Cam, that's right.
Or was there another one beyond that?
Cam was for Nest, is that right? No, I'm sorry.
No, the other two were both
Elros.
Tices.
Elros?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess of the people that remain that aren't. Well, actually, I have a question. Maybe this was answered already, but will the people that have those companions, will those people automatically be coming with us because they are companions?
Yes. Automatically, they're coming to Salibrae because you spent the renown to make them a permanent mentor, so they will always be available for mentorship.
See, then of the remaining ones, we might just want to figure out who are we going to try and convince to come with us.
Yes. If they're not on the list of renown spent like part of your character companions, then you would have to actually convince them to come. The ones on this list, Lorpin, Pinkle, and Cam, do not require rolls. They're automatically going to succeed. So, for example, Araxi, when you get to the docks, you find that the family is already getting ready to sail their vessel to Salibrae. The two children, the brother and sister, are planning to enlist in the Crimson Guard to join the military effort against Aphthis. Their father is very stoic. He's seen war. He's not super pleased, but he understands because the plagues have been a genuine threat. And Glup is also not excited, but is ready to start up the,
You mean Lorpin?
in Salibrae and be a Salibran fisherman.
You mean Lorpin, right?
I'm sorry, yeah, Lorpin. Lorpin is ready to be a Salibran fisherman. Glup, when you go meet Pinkle, Pinkle's already packing his bags. Like, this place is screwed. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go to Salibrae and set up shop there. There's no way this town is surviving if a bunch of cultists come rolling through with their plague magic.
Yeah, and of course you'll need a backdoor man.
And for Elros, Cam is a member of the Salibran Arcane University, so Cam was already going to go back, but yeah, so that's an easy one. But yes, if there's any other members on the wonderful list of various people here.
Has anyone claimed the herbalist?
No.
Okay, well, Mari is good friends with the herbalist. She's taken her as a renowned companion.
Okay.
Wilco, right?
Yes, Wilka. I will add Wilka to the list.
Okay, so Mari goes and helps Wilka pack her stuff.
I can try and make a leadership role to convince people to leave.
Do we have a renown from last time? Is that what you're using?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. Everybody should have 2 renown, I think. One of that should have already been spent, though. But.
Yeah, there's 1 renown was earned for discovering ice cream, and a 2nd renown for being part of the great performance at the Harvest Festival right before the moon fell.
Only characters that did the ice cream thing got the renown.
No, everybody got it, but only characters who did the ice cream were able to spend on experience.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Everyone got famous, and 6 of you learned something. Or 5 of you, or however many there were there.
That being said, I mean, if it's reasonable, Mina could do her renown for the miller since she spent almost all of her time there.
Okay, that's completely reasonable. Being a man of wealth, the miller is able to live quite comfortably in Salibrae without much trouble, and does see the wisdom in getting a nice thick wall and a nice trained city guard around him in these troubled times.
I think that what I'll do is have Henri befriend the carpenter with the renown that he earned from the ice cream. He wasn't one of the ice cream people, so he had to spend the renown on something else. So I think that he can take on a companion with that.
Would
Okay,
the carpenter have? Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, give me just a second. I want to get Troy's recorded here. Which character of yours, Troy, was it?
Mina.
All right. Bergston has come to be Mina's mentor. Kristen, which character?
Henri and the carpenter. That sounds like it would make a good short story.
I've forgotten the carpenter's name, but it is Larity.
It works too, because he was crotchety. Henri's the opposite.
They're like two peas in the pot.
Was Henri crotchety? Like, was he?
Well, I guess he's not really crotchety, but he was more like loner type.
Oh, okay. So they bond because it's similar based on the age.
Exact. And I was trying to pick one where like they had actually like gone there for chores.
Yeah, that's why I even said Mina and the Miller, because literally every chore was Miller.
Okay, so we've got Lorpin the Pirate, Pinkle the Scoundrel, Cam the Mage, Willica the Herbalist, Bergston the Miller, and Larity the Carpenter. Anybody else? Now these are not just like roles you've succeeded in, these you've actually taken as companions. These are mentors that you can go to for help whenever you want. They are basically part of your character sheet. Think of them as items in your inventory that you have to assist you in your troubles ahead. That is different from going to somebody and just convincing them to go, which would be a role. And would just mean that they move into the city but aren't necessarily your friend forever.
I mean, the Fisher people, they're leaving, right? Because they're Fisher people.
Yeah, and Araxi has taken Lorpin as a mentor.
Gotcha.
But if somebody wanted to take Lowendal as a mentor, that's also possible. The children are not available for that. One of them is going to become a playable character for me in your next adventure, and the other one is joining the Crimson Guard as a generic red shirt.
Oh, Lowendal's the captain, right?
Correct.
All right, Sherry will take Lowendal. That makes sense.
Okay. Anyone else?
So this is a little bit of a stretch because Zara only helped out at the end once, but I was thinking maybe Zara could make what's her name? I can't pronounce that. Deliatra? Many
Grammy.
matron?
Yeah.
Exactly. Grammy. My thoughts are like Zara's really young, and maybe she like latched onto her like as a bit of a mother figure, sort of thing.
Eldiatra Many-Matron is a legendary figure. She doesn't want to leave. Like, she spent her life building this place. But if you spend your renown for it, she will eventually agree to it and go and make sure you're safe in the city. She'll find some way to make it in the big city.
Got it. Yeah, and I mean, we can assume that Zara is over there just nagging her until she says yes.
After all, who's going to make you guys cookies? Cookies are an important part of childhood.
They really are.
And which of your characters is taking Eldiatra?
Zara.
That's 8 members of this village that you guys are taking with you. That's an exceptional crowd.
We roll deep.
Indeed. All right. Anyone else? I'm gonna go through just check. Jackie, did you have anybody else you're taking?
I'll speak for her. She wrote in chat that she's not going to be taking anyone.
Cool. Ed.
She is going to try and persuade people. She
Okay.
mentioned that.
Cool. Let's clear out the renowned ones first, and then we'll go into persuasion. Ed, did you have you have one character I think that hasn't taken anyone yet? Were they going to, or are they using the renown elsewhere?
Reggie was going to use his renown to bond his cheap but important family signet ring.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, but he'll go convince people.
Kristen, are you set for using your renown to take people?
Yeah, I'm all done with renown. I have one character that will be trying to convince people.
Excellent. Troy.
No one additional.
Excellent. Vivian.
No, I don't think it makes much sense for Wild Here Nest to take him back to her.
Alrighty. And Tice. I know 2 of your characters already have picked a mentor. Is that it?
I'm thinking here for a second. Can I have more than one mentor?
Came back.
Yeah. If you have more than one renown to spend, then absolutely.
Elros is going to pick up a second mentor. He's going to pick up the sheriff.
Let's see. Miller. Sheriff. Gorham. Okay, got it.
Gotta have someone to throw apples at.
And you said it's Elros?
Yes.
All right, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Which brings the total to 9 characters. All right. Now let's go through who we're going to be trying to convince. I'm just going to go through the list again. Kristen, is Jackie available again?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm here.
Excellent. Jackie, who would you like to go convince, and which of your characters are going?
Well, Leica's going to be the only one who has a fighting chance at trying to convince anyone. Who's not coming so far? I feel like we're bringing a lot of people, so we're only missing a couple. Well, of the characters that we interacted with.
Yeah, I mean, 9 people so far. Ideally, the Crimson Guard would like to empty the town to not have to worry that there's any civilians out here getting turned into faded or embered people that might cause devastation.
So who is left for me to convince?
Okay,
I think it's the smithy, the dairy farmer, and maybe the sheriff. I can't remember if someone got that.
No, Elros just got the sheriff, so that's taken care of. But yeah, it's the smithy, the dairy farmer.
Yeah,
wow, yeah, I think that's it.
I'll give a shot. Did anyone work with either of those people?
Very few people worked at the dairy farm, but there were some.
Okay, but none at the smithy?
Actually, somebody did work at the smithy specifically to work on an axe.
Elros.
Yeah, that's right. Elros worked at the smithy once.
All right, I'm going to go for the dairy farmer because we spent more time with him, so hopefully he'll have a little bit more rapport with the orphans.
Okay, which of your characters is going?
Leica.
Leica, gotcha. Okay. I do not in my records show Leica ever having visited there, but that's okay. You can still go there to try to convince.
Not me personally, but you know.
Is anyone else going with Leica to try to convince the dairy farmer to evacuate the city and move to Salibrae? Or evacuate the village? This is going to be an uphill battle because they have a dairy farm, which involves a lot of employees, a lot of cattle, and actually they have some history here. We didn't get to meet them very much during the course of this adventure, as we focuses were elsewhere. But the dairy farmer, that family that's like the whole town is their ancestral land that's been partitioned up and sold off to the state for various things and turned into other people's lands, but they are still dwelling on a piece of their original estate that used to cover the whole village.
Okay.
So this will be interesting. Just to read from it, Animar Merkel and her family are all that remains of a once proud noble house that 2 centuries ago claimed all of Oakbrine as their property and all who lived upon it as their servants. Times have changed, however, and through a series of financial hardships and poor investments, they've had to sell off most of their land and holdings, keeping only their dairy farm as both a practical matter of sustenance and as a last indulgence in their taste for fine cream. The modern Merkel family bears little resemblance to their ancestors, being humble and hardworking folk, although they do retain the family surname of Merkel as a reminder of their heritage. Animar Merkel and her husband, Samaran Merkel, who took the family name after immigrating from Salus at the end of the Demon Wars, oversees the production of dairy products from beginning to end, including the raising of livestock, fermenting of cheeses, and everything in between, etc., etc. It goes on to talk about their kids.
Cool.
I guess Nest could go along.
I'll give it my best shot.
Crystal Star was there once, he can go. Just reasonably.
Right, well, I'll shoot my shot.
We got 3 people going to shoot their shot. you just might be saving their lives by getting them out of here. So who knows? So you arrive at the Merkle farm. It's still early morning. Some of the Merkle children are going about the daily chores of milking and such, but everybody's still kind of in a shock from the night before, and everybody's still constantly looking up at the sky to check the number of moons.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to one of the matriarch or the patriarch here.
Okay. Animar's at the house, directing the kids.
I'll just start out with saying something like, we wanted to come by and see if you guys needed any help getting underway to get out of town, head into the city.
Into the city? I hadn't thought of that. Don't think I could do something like that. This place has been in my family for forever, I think. She is not operating at full composure right now.
Yeah. I look around and I say, you know, me and my friends here, we're all orphans, and, well, stuff like that. We don't really have places that we're from or places that we get to stay. So I wish I knew what that felt like, but as long as you have your family, you can keep going. Any place can be home.
So I don't even know what we would do. There's so many of us. Where would we stay?
Together.
That's a good answer. Get a pip to your next roll for whatever that is.
I do have gifted leader. I have forgot to use that. I mean, yeah, I guess that's my role. I guess that's my
Okay.
I'm shooting my shot. So
that's your pitch. All right. Yeah, you definitely get a pip for that one really snappy comeback. That was great. Yeah, you're rolling against a difficulty 6 to convince them to convince her that it's a good idea to leave.
I only have enough empathy and persuasion for 4 total successes, even if I get every single one.
In that case, you're going to need some help.
Yeah.
Who are we convincing?
Animar Merkle, the owner of the local dairy farm.
I'm going to say that my harving outfit is helping me as a great talker, you know.
Makes sense to me.
So I've got. Should I roll, or do I need to wait for other people, or are we all contributing dice? Or?
I would wait to see what everybody else wants to help with before you make your roll.
I will wait before I roll.
Reggie says, "Are you a great hero, a warrior?"
And Animar says, "No, I'm a dairy farmer. Members of my family in the past have been warriors and soldiers, but I am not. No."
Reggie says, "Neither am I. I'm just a kid." He says, when the long night came and all the great heroes and villains and warriors decided to come into Salibrae and fight out their stuff, it's people like you and me that get hurt by that. He says, it's best to get out of their way. No one, he says, kind of pointing around at all the scrambling adults wandering around, no one has any idea what's going on. Probably best for us to just stay out of Dodge, keep a low profile, and see what happens afterwards.
All right, you've made some good points. You can... do you think you can make a roll that would score high enough on your own, or do you want to contribute help or die to someone else's roll?
I'll contribute help or die. That's going to basically be my discussion with every townsfolk. It's like, do you have any idea what's going on? Are you going to fight in the war? No? Then get the hell out of the way. Because they'll crush you. Reggie is starting to dislike heroes, by the way.
Reggie recognizes a lot of the attitude that this family has. If the threat had been bandits, or or cultists, or something that is within the scope of their understanding, their response would have been, "No one's coming on my land, and if they do, I'll show them what for." But then
Right.
a moon came out of the sky. This is beyond their understanding. They don't even know how to react to it. And so all that bluster, all that is just evaporated. And they're confused, they're lost, they're scared. So you're hitting on the right points for them. So yeah, definitely add your successes to the role of whoever is making the initial attempt, which I guess would be Jackie's character.
Okay, empathy and persuasion?
Yes, please.
Any pips or anything?
Yes, you hit an excellent point, so add a pip. All right, Jackie, you've got 3 helper dice joining your own, and there was someone else helping too, yes?
Yeah, Dust is here. Oh,
I'm
I'm here.
updating my totals as they add up. So
Troy, do you want to go first? Because I'm not sure what I want Dust to say.
Sure. I was going to be a little more simple about it, so I'm not sure entirely how to apply. But I was just going to say that all of us are going. Everyone at the orphanage, we're all going.
and all your mentors, by the way, like a shitload of townspeople.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But like realistically, like from Crystal's perspective, like all of us orphans are going. I don't have anything to take, so I'm happy to dedicate all of my time before we go to helping you all like pack up your stuff, work on it. You can consider me someone here as an addition to your own, working for getting you out of here.
That is extremely kind, and you get 2 pips to your persuasion roll there. We'll add those dice to that. Now this, of course, does lock your character into making good on that promise, but yeah.
And based on that, can I switch it from persuasion to labor?
Yes, you can. For a moment, I thought you were going to say, can I switch it from empathy to cunning because I'm actually lying? But yes, absolutely. You can switch it to labor 100%.
So what I do labor and empathy because like I'm blending them?
I think this is the first empathy labor roll we've ever had. And
It
I'm
makes
here
sense.
for it. It's a very good justification.
What other role-playing system would allow you to make a labor plus empathy roll? But it makes perfect sense for the situation.
Okay, 1.
Did you have pips for that as well?
I don't. Oh, did I? I don't think so.
Have a pip. You did have 1 pip.
Yep.
Oh, did I?
So that
Actually, no. You had more pips. You had 2 pips.
You had 2 pips because you
so
were
that would
being
be
extra kind.
3 successes off of that.
Yeah, don't forget your pips, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm up to 10 dice now.
6, 5, 5.
I'm up to 10 dice with
All right.
everything so
Excellent.
far.
Nest is basically just going to play off of what Reggie said and go, look, none of us know what's going on, but our priority is making sure people are safe. And yes, that includes the orphans, but that's also going to include the people from this town. We want to be able to pick up this town after. And you can't do that if you're all get the plague or a plague or lose to those cultists that tried to kidnap children when we came here. So
Should look like
Yeah.
pointedly at the several children in her family that are running around
Yeah.
doing chores. Like,
this is a no town folk left behind, and that includes y'all. So we're going around, we're making sure everybody's coming along.
Reggie shrugs and says, or when the hungry, heroic armies of Salibrae sack your dairy farm because they need it for the war effort.
And that's the situation where somebody could reduce your number of pips. But yes. So you get 1 pip for mentioning that they can take their stuff with them and come back again. That's important. And then there was a 2nd pip. I forgot what it was for. It's one of the things he said.
everyone's safe together.
Oh, the children, because her children are threatened. That's the 2nd pip. Yes.
Like, seriously, lady, how good do you personally believe you can protect these many children from...
If all 3 moons were still in the sky, she would believe she could do it with her own 2 hands and a pitchfork. But there's a moon missing. And that's really shaking her up. So she is susceptible to that.
God damn.
Okay. Do you believe 5 successes is within your reach now?
I'm rolling 13 dice here with 5 pips. Let's go.
This would be tragic.
I have 6.
Just
barely.
Damn.
Just barely crossed the line.
We are children. We are just children. And we're trying to really puffing our chests out here, trying to do adult
Yeah, and you
shit.
just did Thar roll. That's what that was.
All right, you've convinced the Merkel family of dairy farmers.
That was really hard.
All that's remaining is the smithy, right?
Correct.
I forgot one more thing. I keep fucking forgetting to use Gifted Leader, and I don't know if the talent links to anything anymore. And I can't remember what it said. Is it just that I get advantage in leadership roles?
Is it a mastery, or did you get gifted? Is it if it's one of your? It sounds like a lineage. You get gifted in leader.
Yeah. So did you take you took that as a lineage? Did you take any disadvantages along with it, paired with it?
I don't know.
Well, all right. Let's take a look at your character sheet. Let's see. This is
Like a half elf.
okay. No, you did not. So yeah, you get 2 pips when you're using leadership.
But do I need to take something negative?
No.
Or is that, okay.
If you took something negative, you'd get 4 pips instead of 2.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Okay, so even though it's still the same roll though, because those dice, some of those dice were low as fuck.
Yeah.
But next time I'll remember to include that in my calculations.
Cool, cool.
All right, onto the smith. Let's do this. Let's do this team. Except for the person who promised to help at the farm. We will see you later.
So before we go there, I want Whoppy to have gone to Grammy and who's presumably packing up begrudgingly at this point, and gone whatever Aubrey's favorite thing to get from Grammy is, essentially. And if there's nothing, cookies and ice cream.
Okay. What is Honore's favorite thing from Grammy?
Aubrey, the smith.
Oh, the smith. Ah, okay. So yeah,
Nice.
Grammy gives you her favorite morning coffee.
All right. And Whoppy orders or gets the same coffee as well for themselves.
Of course. Because what everybody needs is a caffeinated Whoppy.
That's exactly why we're getting more. Ordered another dose of Wampy. Here it comes. Extra caffeinated.
You basically have this small halfling, the equivalent of ye olde hoodie, with 2 cups of coffee, one for the smith, and one for itself. But yeah, so I want Wampy to go in there with the Smith's morning brew, sipping one for themselves, and like go in and say, "Are you coming with us? We're all leaving for Salibrae tomorrow."
Omri looks around. It's like, I'm not sure. I think I want to stay and fight. I know something bad's coming, and I feel like I want to put a hammer into it.
Wampy pulls out their hammer and says, "You know, same, but I'm a small child. I'm a small child. I can, you know, not a lot's above Wampy. This shit is." Making an emphasis on the swear. In that case. And goes, if you want to help, you might be better off helping in Salibrae, where they can make use of your talent with create all these wonderful objects out of junk.
Imagine sending 100 hammers, 1,000 hammers into them.
She picks up her. It's not a smithing hammer. It's a like 2-handed warhammer off the wall. Hefts it over her shoulder with ease, just effortlessly, and says, "I thought about it, but I don't think I trust them to put me in the right place. They're as likely to send me to fight another nation as they are the enemy. But the enemy's almost certainly coming here. I can feel it." This may be a situation that requires more than just a clever die roll. There might be secrets about her that could reveal an easier way to convince her.
Anyone got investigation?
So where are we currently at?
Those characters who have gone to convince the smithy have gone to the smithy. So do you have a character that wants to convince the smithy, Omri, to see if she'll go to Salibrae with you guys?
Can I, since Vivian is with playing with Trumpy, I would like to swap for Wampy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I want to be Trumpy.
Was there anything you wanted to do while Wampy was getting coffee from Grammy? Any research you wanted to maybe do into your target?
I would like to do an investigation roll.
Awesome.
Actually, would scholarship be more useful?
Depends. Where are you investigating?
Her house. I'm gonna sneak in through her shit.
Okay.
I'm a tiny halfling. Let's go.
That's totally a viable way to do it. This would be, I think, agility plus crime.
Wait.
Oh.
Hang on a second. I actually cannot do that at all with this character. I have no skill in that.
That would be Wampy's.
Or Glup.
Someone call me?
Yep, Glup, you're up. You're gonna help Trumpy get into the Smith's house and investigate. It's a lady, right?
Yes, she is.
We're gonna investigate her shit. We're gonna
Alright.
look through her shit and see if there's a reason why we can compel her to go. No one left behind. I literally can't roll for this. I have no skill in crime or agility. I'm more of like a book smart criminal, not a street smart criminal. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
All right, so you're gonna try and sneak into her house. which is part of her shop. They're connected. So while she's out front, kind of wistfully looking at, there's no real customers today. People are kind of still freaked out about the moon thing. If you'd like to break in through the back, that would be an agility plus crime.
All right, Tice, you're up.
All right. Does she have like a smokestack or something, and is it on?
She does. Multiple smokestacks, so you want to make sure you pick the right one, otherwise you're going to drop down in the middle of her smithy while she's smithing.
Yeah, I want to make sure one of the ones, probably she has a personal one in her house, whatever, that's probably maybe off right now, so I'm going to use that so I can use my climbing skills.
Alright. That sounds reasonable. Certainly if you have the skills of an Anu in climbing, you're going to have a much easier time trying to sneak down a chimney than you will picking a lock.
Indeed. So it's still the same roll, just with with my pick.
Just with your pips. Okay. You get inside. And from inside, it's easy to open the door, the back door, to let your friends in. Who all is coming in addition to Glup?
Me. Trumpy.
Just Trumpy? Okay. Glup and Trumpy, you have entered her bedroom.
I'd like to do an investigation roll.
Excellent. Let's see those dice.
I'd like to commit a crime and try to use it as to find hiding spots.
Is this investigation plus focus? Or investigation plus perception?
Perception plus investigation.
Okay.
I was thinking about crime plus focus or crime plus either focus or cutting to find hidden compartments and stuff.
Ooh, 3 successes. So in the first success, you find the most obvious thing, which is that she favors the ladies. The second is that you find some love poetry that she has written specifically to Willica. It seems that she either has or would like to have a relationship with Willica. And that third success, you learn that Willica has a historic relationship of some sort with the Miller.
And they're going. They're both leaving, right?
Yes, they are both leaving. It's not clear if they're leaving together, but at some point in the past...
I would like to imply...
Are we trying to imply a throuple here?
I'd like to imply that if she doesn't shoot her shot, she might miss her chance.
Yeah.
All right, so now fast forwarding to your actual confrontation with her, you now have some more useful information. Go ahead, make your case.
All right, so I think it was Whoppy speaking at this point.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I assume that we've shared information.
Yes.
Whoppy's going to go, you might be a great fighter, and you might want to defend this village, but everybody's going, Grammy, Pinkle, the Miller, Willica? Even Willica's going, We should, you should come with all of us, protect the town inside the city, And, who knows what you'll find, there if you, shoot your shot, so to speak, with some people around the city, maybe some people from the town who, just, otherwise it's just going to be you. We'd all be sad.
She thinks about that for a second. It's just, Willica's going. You've definitely hit a point of value on this. Just, I need to make sure she's safe. I need to make sure they're all safe. You said she's going to Salibrae.
Everyone is. Willica, the Miller, everyone.
The Miller. I'm sure he'll take good care of her. You don't
Better
feel
than
from
you
her, that
could?
tone of voice, though, that she likes the idea.
Is he stronger than you or something?
No, but he's very wealthy. He can afford to take good care of people.
Oh.
What I've got's my brawn and my skill.
And your heart?
And my heart. Alright, so far you guys have totaled up 3 pips of really good points against her. If you have anything else to say, say it. Otherwise, make your rolls. Who's doing the actual speaking?
I believe it's Swampy, right?
So,
Wampy has Wampy has a point of persuasion, so I would be starting with 3 dice.
so everybody else make your rolls first to give helper dice to Wampy. And if you have any more important points to make, go ahead and make them.
Am I making an argument from cunning or empathy here for Chompy?
It's a little bit cunning, a little bit empathy. I could go either way on that one.
I don't have persuasion, so it's just that. Do I get pips for my roll?
Yes, you do.
I guess it's left to help with the thing before. He'll be like, yeah, you could, he could take care of her, but like, there's you of course you could stay here and perhaps die heroically, but then that means that he might be able to use that to get to be even more closer to her. But if you go out there and prove that that your connection with her is stronger than any value of money you have, then it isn't impressing her that much. Because so you got money.
Alright, you can get ahead and roll. She's a little confused by your childhood sort of logic of impressing people, but yes. You're very close to something that probably would turn the tide in this very significantly. Did anyone else have anything to add?
If we need more, I do have an idea for Zara.
Go ahead.
So Zara's approach to this is going to be pretty outlandish. And I don't know how successful it will be because Zara does not have a lot of skills. But basically, Zara is going to try and convince her that things aren't going to be too great for Willica, I believe, is the
That's her
herbalist name.
crush, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Zara will go to her and say, hey, recently I realized that I have a special ability, and I can see the future. I know that sounds like crazy, but it happened. I saw the moon crashing down on us, and then it happened. And there was another thing that I saw. I saw Willica, and she was in danger. And that's what the future holds. But I was told by Sigurd, the great librarian from Garethan, that the future is not set in stone, that we can change the future if we change our actions. So I really do think that Willica would be safer if you would leave the town and try and help protect her where we go next.
Did you actually take a when you got your abilities? Did you spend the experience points to take a point in the potential for future sight?
I did. By the way, I'm completely bullshitting part of that, but because I did not have that vision necessarily, unless we
You
wanted
don't-
to say that vision did happen. But
You don't necessarily have to bullshit if you are willing to tax that and make a roll.
Use your powers, dude.
hell yeah. So I do have 1 point in future sight.
Yes, you do. So you can roll that one die. You'll tax it, but you can make that roll and just see what you're able to see.
No pips on this
I don't
one
know.
at all?
I think I might have a better shot with the lie, although it all hinges on her believing that I can see the future. But
Well, you can
because I
take
have
your
a couple dice that I can roll for the other.
you can take your shot at saying the future and still lie, like you aren't telling her what you saw necessarily.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
You aren't publicly displaying your vision.
I roll 1 dice to actually see what is going to happen in Willica's future.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And can I pip that up in any way? I'm guessing no. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that I could add to that.
Damn.
Okay, I definitely am bullshitting.
Yep, definitely. You don't. You do see a vision that has nothing to do with Willica or anything that you understand,
It's
really.
like a chicken on a cart going down a road.
Yeah, there's a sewer somewhere. It's dark. Surprise! It's dark in the sewers.
In the future, it's gonna be dark. It's dark now, but also in the future.
Yeah.
In true Zara fashion, I'm pretending like I'm starting to get a vision, and like I'm looking really concerned, and then I, reiterate, it doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good for her.
Okay, make your deception roll here, and we'll see how many dice you add to the persuasion. Troy, did you want to get in on this action?
I'm not sure how I'd contribute to this one.
Okay. In that case, then, Vivian, we are ready for Wampy's roll.
I do have an idea for Nest, if Nest is allowed to also be in the sync with Wampy.
Unfortunately, Nest is currently in the timeline talking to.
Oh, right. It's just happening at the same time?
Yeah, simultaneous. There isn't enough
Characters
time.
on
Everybody's
everybody.
got to get out of Dodge quick.
Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 dice, helper dice, right?
Yeah, plus what, 3 pips?
Yes.
Just looking for anything else I could argue.
What's your perception? Maybe you can glean additional
per-
information.
Can I make use of the hammer's appearance and the earring I have as just like, look, you're strong, Wampy's strong. Wampy's not quite as strong as you, but Wampy's pretty scared, and Wampy has all this.
Okay. Yeah, you can use you can pick one of your appearance items
Alright,
and
in
use it as
that case I will use the hammer because it's quality 6 for appearance, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Alright, that is 9 pips.
Hey, there you go. You got it by 1. Got it by the same amount that you guys convinced the dairy farmers.
Hell yeah. We're good.
All right. The town is in agreement then, and eventually the message shuffles out to the regular farmers, the grain farmers and such. Everybody's going to move to the city. They are doing so without government support, so they may have a rough time of it. But
They're
they
doing
are
it together, so it'll actually go pretty smoothly if they all coordinate.
Yep. Well, you kids actually have like a government building waiting for you. These people are refugees. But, yeah. But they are coming, and good job.
Araxi is going to beg to be able to go on the boat with with the fishing people.
So Araxi's told that she needs to pack up all her stuff. She needs to get her room unpacked, everything, or her room packed up and moved out, because everything that stays behind is basically going to be lost. And this is true of all the kids. Everybody's got to pack up all their stuff. A cart is brought over. It's actually the same cart that Grammy and Penkel used to get you kids here to begin with. Everybody loads in. You gather all your things, including your jars of moss, your somebody's repaired axe, some books. All your personal belongings are gathered up. And then Miss Maybell plants her staff, sappers, into the ground, and the house begins to shrink, as though all of the wood in it is just being sort of pulled down into the ground and through the roots into sappers, leaving behind a pile of furniture just kind of lying in a field. And then you ride off to Salibrae. It takes about a week and a half of riding to get to Salibrae. Not much happens in the meantime. It's not super comfortable, but you guys do. So nobody recovers any tax or anything during the journey. It's kind of a rough journey. But you do eventually come to the city, and the city is, for those of you who haven't seen it, huge. And for those of you who have seen it, it's Salibrae. You recognize it. It's pretty distinct. There's a giant pit in the middle of it for no apparent reason. The city itself is arrayed like a crescent around the saltwater inlet. So there's docks all over the place. But as you come up to the city walls, which the city itself is sprawled over quite a bit, you do see that somebody has painted across the entry gate above it the phrase that you heard weeks ago when the moon fell. The phrase, "Seek out the bard Harving and help her how you can." You are eventually led into the sort of middle of the city, a little bit north of the giant pit. The pit itself is huge and anomalous. There's not any particular reason or explanation that's obvious for why there's a huge pit in the middle of the city. There are fences up to prevent people from accidentally falling over the edge. And a few businesses are built on it. There's a few places where you can pay a coin to use a spyglass and look at the other side. Kind of kitschy, touristy stuff. But past that, you guys get into a district that has some businesses, but is there's a few restaurants and things, but it's mostly residential. And then there's this big mansion. It is multiple stories tall. It has a fence around it and everything. And Miss Maybell has been handed the key by the Crimson Guard, and she opens it up. And it is completely bare on the inside. All of the furniture is gone. There are places on the wall where you can see a painting used to be here because it's a different color there than the rest of the wall, but the paintings are gone. It's quite barren on the inside. there's a courtyard where Miss Maybell plants sappers, and then she goes about working to get everything moved in. She does have access to some funds, so she sends some of the Crimson Guard people out to bring in beds and things, and starts getting things worked together. And while they're assembling that, some people come by in some official-looking, government-y kind of robes. They greet Miss Maybell. They're being introduced to her for the first time. I say, we have some requests. So since all of these children are going to be living here in the city, it's been requested that all of them sign up for one or more, well, we'd prefer one for ease of tracking, educational programs. And we brought along some people to assess which programs they would be best for. Ms. Maybell frowns at the idea of assessment. She thinks that children should choose their own path. But one of the people recognizes Cam and greets them and is wearing very similar robes. So it looks like there is a mage that's come to examine the kids. See if you guys have any magical abilities and can join the Magic University. Interestingly, you do see in the background there is a person of note that a couple of, at least one of you will recognize. There is someone who is entirely encased in glowing blue magical armor that is causing her to float up off the ground. She's down the street, but she seems to have directed these people here, but is not, at the moment, paying attention to you guys. She's talking to somebody else. It looks like it's a news reporter that she's talking to.
Is it Delterra?
Absolutely. Unmistakably Delterra. No one else has that crazy glowing blue armor thing.
Nesta's more controlled than I think the average child would be at seeing their hero. But Nesta's going like go gasp and like grab everybody. Like, that's Delterra.
The mage that's come along with the government administration says, indeed it is, and she's assigned me to test you all to see if any of you are able to cast cantrip, and any of you who are will be invited to join us at the Salibrae Arcane University, SAU. So it is at this point that anyone who, because all of you should still have 2 available lineages, anyone who wants to add in an additional lineage at this point may. Actually, all of you should. You should all add in your 4th lineage at this point. This is an opportunity for any of you that want to add scholastic magic as something that you're studying. This could be your moment where it's discovered as this mage tests you to see if you can cast cantrip from their instructions. If you find that you can, then you can. And if you can't, then you can find out that there was some other neat thing about your character that you didn't know about before.
Yeah, I know I have had the option to be able to get it, but I do not actually. I have experience, but I've never actually spent it into the thing because we haven't had time yet to do it.
Any of you who've already taken something that is compatible with scholastic magic can automatically pass this mage's test without having to add anything additional to your lineage. But you should still add in a 4th lineage, as we should get everybody up to 4 at this point.
So, I have a question regarding my character Leica, who's half elf and I think had the tangle, or has the tangle, and so has, magical potential, I assume, based on
Yes. The tangle basically gives it to you for free without taking any additional lineages, yeah.
So I don't need to, I just automatically pass this.
Automatically pass the test, yes.
Excellent. I think I will keep it to just that. For Bax, I'm kind of more interested in seeing like how far I can lean into the faith and not path, and I don't know if I need to have like heroic potential or some shit like that in order to do that.
You absolutely can take a heroic potential. It won't pass this test. So what this person is going to do is they're going to summon a little ball in front of them.
I'm familiar with the cantrip test. I just wanted to know if I was going the Faith and Knock path, if that's what I need to do in order to go down this path, or if it's a different magic route than this test.
Different magic route. These guys are studying scholastic magic, not heroic magic.
Fantastic.
Also keep in mind that merely having the tangle doesn't necessarily mean you can cast cantrip. Like all elves have the tangle, but a very small number of them are wizards. So if you have the tangle, that's fine. You can always pass this test, but it's kind of a choice.
Right. You can tell me, no, I don't pass, even if you do have the tangle.
Got it. I'd like to pass.
Okay.
Like Mari wants to pass beyond anything in her wildest dreams, but dwarves cannot cast magic, so she can't.
Is it that they're utterly incapable, like they're constitutionally incapable of doing so?
They are utterly incapable. Yeah.
That is a bummer.
Well, they're utterly incapable of casting magic that way.
But so you say that way, but is there another paradigm for them to access magic?
Sunmancy.
That's the only way.
Not only is it the only way, but they're the best at it.
Well, yeah, I know, but
for Ness, does the future sight ability allow me to pass this or do I have to take something else?
Not inherently. You'd have to take something else, but
right.
They could work in tandem with each other.
All right. I'm assuming that Beast Druidic is not scholastic at all.
Druidic stuff is not scholastic.
Yeah.
That's right. Wampy will want to spend a lot of time talking to sappers. Okay, and all right, let's just go through the list here. I'm gonna bring up the character sheets. Ed, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you. So Mari, does Mari pass or fail the test?
What is the test exactly?
So it's a modification of cantrip where instead of using their own emotions, they cast it on another person, and then they get to see it. This is from Delterra's toolkit, which has kind of changed the way that they do magic testing now, because now a skilled guide can sort of guide a person through their emotions to find the syllables needed to cast cantrip on their own. So instead of a bunch of charlatans selling silly books that may or may not help, there's actual people that can sit down, cast a spell, and help you through your emotional states to work out the syllables. And that's what this person is. This person is somebody that Delterra has sent over to cast the spell on each of the kids and see if he can get them to have enough control of their emotions to do the syllables.
He's a facilitator.
Gotcha. Yeah. None of my characters... Shari has the tangle. Well, actually, no, Shari doesn't have a tangle. Yeah, none of my characters have any magical potential. Mari will happily take the test, though.
Okay. He immediately recognizes that you're a dwarf, but he was given instructions, so he goes through the motions, and you find that your emotional output, despite however you control it, just somehow gets blurred and muddied before it hits the aether, and so you're never able to quite make the exact right syllables. That said, the math behind it is quite understandable to you, so there's that. Would you like this character to attempt to enroll without having access to cantrip, based purely on their intellectual ability?
Mari just says, so Mari's Mercury fused, which is the Dwarven version of the tangle, I've decided, so I need to write that down. But,
okay.
Yeah. So she just says, I don't recognize those things, she says. But my uncle told me that you can whistle to the stone, and she whistles and makes it into a cube.
Okay, this guy is going to mark that as a pass. It's a different kind of magic. You're definitely going to have to find different teachers for you to study with. But he's seen sonomancy. I mean, the dwarves have been pretty open about it, so he recognizes it and is like, all right, you have what it takes to do sonomancy. We definitely want to educate you as best we can. So you are invited to enroll at the Salibrae Arcane University.
She seems ecstatic about this.
And then Reggie and Shari, do they even bother testing, or do they test and fail? What's the deal?
Shari just, if they put a cantrip on Shari, it's just going to basically shapeshift at a rapid speed, at about the same speed that she speaks. And then Reggie says he has no interest in joining the establishment.
Alrighty. Now we're going to switch over to Jackie. Bax, Leica, and Trumpy. Do they all take the test?
I think they would all take the test. I think they're kids. They're going to want to do it. Like, I don't think Trumpy and Bax can pass this test.
Fair enough. If they fail, they fail. That's fine.
But Leica is going to be set to pass this test.
Okay, Leica passes. Then Leica is also invited to enroll in the Salibrae Arcane University. Kristen, same questions?
So yeah, I do think all of mine would want to try it out, though I do have one dwarf character. And I guess I would have to go to the sonomancy route for that character.
If that's something you'd like to do. It's not mandatory, but if you want to go sonomancy, then you would take the mercury-fused lineage and then pass the test, just as Mari did. If not, then that's fine. You don't have to.
Yeah, I was planning on that. Basically, all of my characters, well, a couple of them tripped on mushrooms. This one in particular, the dwarf, Henri, tripped on the mushrooms and had a vision. Since he's a dwarf, does that mean the ability that he acquired at that time has to be sonomancy as well?
No. What was Henri's vision?
The Moon King. It was like an Eldritch encounter.
Eldritch. Okay. Yeah, that's different. That is a very different thing. You can tell them about that if you want to. But the Moon King is not scholastic magic. That is a different realm entirely. And dwarves are not barred from that. No one is. No one knows how to be. If people could figure out how to bar themselves from that, they would.
Is there anything I would learn, I guess, from going to the magic school, even if they don't know anything about?
They would largely tell you to stop doing that.
Okay, then Henri is going to pass. He's going to just, I guess, fail if they're requiring the test.
They're not requiring it, but they really want to test everybody, just because additional mages are really good for the city.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll pass, but he'll fail.
Okay.
Zara, will go ahead and take the test as well. She does want to get into the school. Like, she's pretty hyped after, like, seeing the vision of Sigurd and just really wants to lean into this whole magic thing. What exactly do I need to do to have her pass? Do I just say she passed, or do I need to...
Has she taken any lineages that have given her a magical awakening? Because I know Francis has. Francis was awakened to necromancy.
Yes, Zara did as well, I thought. Is Prodigy the lineage for...
Yeah, but wasn't Zara's that she saw the future?
That is correct.
Okay, so that is different from scholastic magic. That's future sight. If you want her to study magic, she would need to take an additional lineage, which you all have. You all have access to a 4th lineage now. Eventually, there'll be a 5th one, too. But for now, we're just up to number 4. So you can either take that this is the moment where you discover that you have magical abilities, or you can pass on that.
Yeah, okay. I will take the additional lineage. How do I know? Where can I find the lineages to choose from?
It is also Prodigy, but it is a different Prodigy. So you took Prodigy Future Sight, this would be Prodigy Arcane.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
All right, give me just a second to update my list here of the students. Before the list grows too big. So it's Mari, Laika, and Zara. All right, moving on down the list. Oh, and Francis, right? Are you going to have Francis pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that his is more motivated out of like fear because his vision had to do with death, and he's kind of trying to learn as much as he can.
So that is sufficient for him to start studying necromancy, which is a scholastic magic, if you would like. You do not have to have him pass the test, though.
Cool. I mean, it doesn't hurt to take on. I guess I don't need to take an extra talent then. I'm not sure what to do about that.
Yeah, you don't need to take an extra talent to study death magic. It turns out that fear is an important part of death. Or, well, death magic. Yeah. As you learned in school. Alrighty, Tice. You're up.
Yeah. I'm currently just going to try to go through Talus thing quickly. What would be which of the things would be best for a holy magic? Because I think he's based on Matthias and
if he's going to be studying a divine magic, godly magic, then the scholastic magic has nothing to do with that. You'll want to seek out priests and churches and talk to them. These people are scientists and rarely, if ever, deal with gods, and when they do, it's mostly to tell them to piss off.
Yeah, I was more trying to figure out what are like the best ones for the catalysts. Yeah. Like which catalyst would be one for like to go into divine magic, or which one normally used? Which ones normally do people choose?
Divine. That would be the.
Oh, there is one there.
Then so I just go onto the wiki and in that case choose some lineages for my characters since they're not doing the magic stuff.
Yep. And am I correct that Elros is going to be passing the test?
Yes. Gonna give a thumbs up to Cam as well when he passes it.
And then Glup.
I don't think he does. Like his is more spiritual energy than actual magical energy.
Excellent. All right. Moving on to Troy. Troy, are any of your characters going to pass the test?
Mina and Kafik are not. Christazar I had taken before from the previous thing that he would prodigy toward learning arcane magic.
Okay. So Christazar passes without even needing an additional lineage, so you can take some other lineage for him. And Vivian.
Only Nest is going to pass. Araxi is going to outright refuse to take the test. And while people take the test but just complain about that dumb book stuff.
Okay. All right.
And Araxi, or Wampi will tell them all that they're going to become a dragon, though. And Nest does mention the future sight ability.
The mage is interested, as perhaps you have a study in divination. That is a good future. There's a lot to learn in that field.
Nest is very excited.
All right, so those 7 students, or those 7 children, all managed to get sufficient control over their emotional states to execute the syllables in their heads for the summoning of their own personal cantrip, which is just an orb that represents what your mental state is and how it relates to the etheric energies around you. And that's what is needed for you guys to become part of the Salibrae Arcane University. However, the government agent is not done. So for those of you who have not managed to pass the test, that doesn't mean that there isn't an exciting future available for you in one of a variety of fields. In particular, the Crimson Guard Academy is recruiting. Would anyone like to sign up to learn how to protect their nation with strength of arms and skill of blade?
Yeah, that's gonna be Bax for sure.
Araxi physically vomits.
Reggie looks unimpressed.
Bax is not a patriotic person. Bax is someone who wants to learn how to kick ass, like Gunther.
Well, this guy is definitely giving the good sales pitch. And the Crimson Guard that are there with you guys are kind of thumbs up. Like, it's been a great experience for me.
That's the one with the shiny marbles, is it?
Yes, it is. They use the shiny marbles to activate. They've got all kinds of cool toys, actually. They've really been upgraded since the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild started making them gear. They still, though, for their offense, they use good old-fashioned swords. And they are probably the best learning academy for swordsmanship in the West. Possibly in Talus itself.
So in terms of lineages, then, so for Leica, they automatically pass due to Tangle, so I get to choose an additional lineage.
Yep.
I would like to also see what I can do in regards to, like, bardic power. Like, can I take a lineage that would be helpful to that in any way, or is that just a potential kind of a thing?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Like, do I take a lineage in regards to wanting to do bardic magic?
Oh, so Gunther did take one, yeah. There was a lineage Gunther took that was just heroic mastery, basically. It just gave him or I guess we would in this version of the rules.
This is what Harving's.
Yeah, in this version of the rules, we would call what Gunther had, I think, a prodigy of heroics.
Well, for Harving, it would have been psychic, right?
Yes, for Harving, it was psychic. Harving learned how to manipulate the ethereal plane to create artificial gods.
Can elves do that? Have elves do that?
Mm.
I'm asking if I'm restricted against doing that, I guess.
No, that's fine. Half elves can be psychic. Elven psychics are exceptionally rare. If you didn't have the tangle, they interfere, basically.
The tangle gets etheric energy clumped up in it, and it's like magnetically repulsive to psychic energy, which makes it hard to be a psychic. But without the tangle, it's pretty easy.
Got it. So I do have the tangle as Leica, that's the thing.
I mean, you can have both. It's possible. I mean, you're a half elf, right?
Yeah.
And so you could have both. It's It's not impossible. It's not impossible for elves to be psychics. It's just very, very difficult.
Okay. I think I will go that route then, because I think that I'm gonna go hard into the hero role model action shit. So that's just psychic potential. Is that the lineage then? Is that what it's called?
Are you trying to become a bard or a hero?
Bard for
Yes,
like a...
psychic. Absolutely.
And for Bax, I would like to do heroic potential. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think in this version of it, we would call the lineage a prodigy of heroics. And then that would give you access to a heroic potential on your potentials list that you could put points into.
So I put that. So prodigy of heroics is the lineage, and then under my potential, I put heroics. 1.
Yes. And then when you have enough experience points, you can put a point into that. I think the first point costs 4.
I think it's 3. Yeah, something like that. The character sheet does.
All right. Back to the Crimson Guard recruiting. I'm just going to go straight through the list again. We'll do it in reverse order this time. So, Vivian. Are any of your characters joining the Crimson Guard?
I don't think so. As I said, Araxi is literally physically vomiting in the room at this point. And Wompy doesn't do orders.
Alrighty. Troy, are any of your characters going to join the Crimson Guard? They teach martial discipline and good health habits. To give you this from a more mechanics point of view, those of you who are attending the university are going to have access to magic and things that will improve your focus, cunning, and empathy all the way up to 5, potentially, if you have the experience points. Whereas the Crimson Guard is all about combat and will improve vigor, agility, and perception. And then there's other stuff too after that. These are not the only 2 options, but these are the first 2 being presented by the clearly biased government official.
So can you attend multiple?
The government official is implying that you shouldn't, but they have not forbidden it.
Mina and Kofrik, I doubt will do it. But Crystal Czar is kind of building is to do magic and combat mixed.
Okay.
So I feel like it would make sense for him to do both.
Eyebrows are raised, but they let you sign the form.
It's good to have a cross-disciplinary approach sometimes.
Indeed. Tice, are any of your characters going to be joining the Crimson Guard?
No.
Very good. Kristen.
No, Henri turns his nose up at the thought of doing that.
And then Jackie, we already know Bax, which brings us to Ed.
Well, Trumpy hasn't selected any place, but neither the magic school nor the academy, the military academy, sound ideal for Trumpy.
Okay. So Trumpy is a yes or a no?
It's a no on both.
Okay.
I'm waiting to see what other options there are.
And then Ed, I think I know what Reggie's response is, but Shari Mari also get the chance.
Oh, well, Mari's all in on the magic.
Cool.
Shari wants to join the Navy. She doesn't care about any of this shit. And then Reggie has interest in the Merchant Guild.
Okay. So then only 2 have signed up for the Crimson Guard, but that's okay. And so now the government agent says, all right, so that covers it for the official government things. However, there are guild internship programs that we consider to be equivalent in educational value that any of you can sign up for. All of the guilds have such programs, but in particular, I would like to highlight the Thieves Guild as being an exceptionally patriotic guild that works directly with our government to handle accounting and taxing. But the other guilds, such as the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild, the Fishing Guild, the Rights and Properties Guild, the Teamsters Guild, all of these are available options for you. The only one that I unfortunately do have on the list, but I have to tell you is no longer available, is the Mining Cooperative. As of a week ago, they have officially become enemies of Salibrae, and we have taken control of Baron. They are not officially recognized at this time for the purposes of our student educational internship programs. So just going back down the list, Ed, did any of your characters have a guild they wanted to sign up for the intern education program?
Reggie will go and work with the Rights and Properties, and Sherry will go and work with the Fisherman's Guild. She has some interest in the Thieves Guild, but the Fisherman Guild and the Thieves Guild close enough that it should be fine.
Okay. Heading back down the list, Jackie. Did any of your characters want to sign up for any of the guild internship programs?
What's the most scholastic, scholarly, nerdy thing I can do?
The Rights and Properties Guild are basically lawyers, and the Thieves Guild are basically like accountants. They handle taxation. They may handle and train in other things, but that would not be something that they officially list on their form.
I guess Trumpy's interested in like just learning a broad variety of things, like just general knowledge. Be very knowledgeable about a wide variety of subjects.
I mean, other guilds include the Fishing Guild, which handles navy and seafaring. The Teamsters Guild, which handles transport, both on land and on sea. So if you're interested in trade, the Teamsters Guild is a good one. Yeah, I don't know. It really depends on what they're interested in.
I mean, generally the things that Trumpy was interested in was like things like herbalism, survivalism, like you know, just being a scholar of natural sciences kind of shit, you know. I guess that's what that character is mostly interested in, but it doesn't sound like there's anything quite like that.
The major guilds are more interested in commerce, which is how they've come to be major guilds. There are certainly people that have those interests in the city, but yeah, none of them have gotten rich from it.
Right.
I mean, there's the Textiles Guild. They have research divisions and things like that.
They're the ones that tried to poison the food supply that one year. Right?
Yeah.
So they definitely have some herbalism study there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you think that's a good choice for what this character is interested in, I can go with that. If I can't do that, then I don't know.
You can if you want.
I mean, Rights and Properties does have divisions that know a little bit about everything because they're the ones that are responsible for contracts and making sure that they know what everything's worth.
In that case, I'll go with that. For Trompy, so Rights and Properties.
They're also probably the most powerful of the guilds, having.
So they have a good information network.
Yeah, they're probably with the mining cooperative out. They're probably the most powerful guild around.
Okay, I'll do that. Rights and properties it is.
Yeah, pretty much every lawyer in the city is a member of the Rights and Properties Guild. So when it comes to like legal issues and government issues, they have huge amount of sway. All right. So that takes care of. That's all of your characters, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Coming back down to Kristen.
Henri would like to join the Thieves Guild.
And they are happy to have you.
He is secretly hoping there will be actual thieving involved.
Reggie
That's for
reminds
damn
you
sure.
that taxation is theft.
Mm-hmm.
And then Francis and Zara are already taken care of?
Yeah, they're both with the
Excellent.
mage.
Tice.
Yeah. I'm currently trying to figure out Kyle's work, the spot where he would want to go, because I know what he's more going into like divine and like herbalism because of the. I always remember what that god's name is.
There is the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild. They're not likely to accept you too much if you don't have some magic, but they're about taking magic and making it applicable. So they take the like alchemical formulas and turn them just into potions that do stuff to sell to people or to supply the army with.
Sure, because like it's important. Like it's that what's a god that does involve with the what's it called that alcohol that like cures things.
Right. Ashta, for example. Right. So if somebody was to be assigned to, if a guild was to be assigned by the government to distribute Ashta to keep people from turning into Apthian slaves or whatever, then the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild would be the guild that gets that assignment.
Okay, I'll go there. He'll go there then.
All right, that's Kyleel.
And when the guy goes to like to ask him about what kind of guild he is, he's going to be holding the Thieves Guild booklet already, reading it.
Oh, Glup?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Like he won't. He was like, what did I give it to him? He's like.
Very good. Troy, next up.
I think Crystal's ours done. Kofric, I believe, is interested in building if there's anything for that. I feel like that would have been.
It would have been the mining cooperative for a lot of
Yeah.
construction projects. Unfortunately, they are on the outs with the local government. There may be some other opportunities through some of the other guilds. The Teamsters certainly need infrastructure, so they might be picking up the slack on that. It's hard to say at this point in time because it's only been a week since Baron was captured. If only someone could see the future. Don't worry though, they'll get trained up in that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I need the sign up stipulation building required. I think honestly both of my characters would have ended up going into the mining cooperative, and now neither of them have anywhere to go. Because it'd be Coffrey would be building things, and Mina would be uh, quote unquote building things. The opposite of building
Engineering things. Mina might find that the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild is very friendly to engineers. She might also find that the Fishing Guild is extremely friendly to engineers. The ability to load and unload ships using cranes is super useful. Teamsters, similar issues with carts.
What's the Applied Thaumaturgy? What was that one?
The Applied Thaumaturgy Guild is the newest of the guilds. They were formed when it was demonstrated that magic could be made in a form that's usable by non-magical people. So they specialize in the creation of potions, magical items and things that people can use in their day-to-day lives. They sell, for example, they sell pads you can put on your boots that for about an hour will let you walk up a wall like you're a spider. Very helpful for construction projects. They, for a while, were selling a spell that summoned magical gloves you could wear that would make whatever you picked up as light as a feather. They ran into a copyright infringement issue with that, and so that is now considered a public domain spell that they're no longer allowed to acquire money from. They don't get a royalty from it anymore. Those royalties go to Delterra.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was a whole lawsuit about it when she came back from her studies on Thoradil and found out that her stepmother had sold access to her notes on the spell to them without her consent. And so there was, yeah. The Rights and Properties Guild got involved. There's a whole big lawsuit, and they had to make a pretty substantial payout, which has now made them deeply indebted to Violathan, who basically bailed them out of bankruptcy and allowed them to remain as a guild. But in so doing, most of their contracts are for providing for the Crimson Guard, which now touts a pretty substantial amount of magical weaponry as a result.
So it's magical items, but they need to make those things, right?
They do. So they're mostly keen on having magic users that are capable of making them, or alchemists that know how to, do the formulas. But they're not strictly magical because, unlike the university, they're not studying to become powerful or to have deep knowledge. They are in it for the money, like a guild. They're looking for products that they can make on the cheap and then sell in mass. And their specific domain is magical stuff that can be used by the common man.
Which is a good area of knowledge to have, honestly. Hang on a second. Can I do that for Trumpy?
Yeah.
I think that would probably be a better fit.
Okay.
A different kind of nerd, That's the kind of nerdy shit I'm into.
Well, I was thinking if they have to make stuff and like magically imbue it, kind of thing, like that would actually be like I could think of things for Coffer to do there.
Yeah, that is what they do.
So, I think that's where Coffer will go, or sign up. I don't know that Mina fits into any.
What's Mina into?
It's engineering, but
from a meta perspective, there is a branch of the Thieves Guild that would love what Mina does, but they're not publicly known, and she wouldn't find out about it until after being there for a while. If you want to meta things a little bit and steer her in that direction, she can become an expert locksmith.
Yeah, I thought about that. It seems weird for her to do it without knowing, but
This
could
government
engineer it so
official,
that
I mean, we could.
this government official is not presenting the Thieves Guild as a guild of thieves. He's presenting the Thieves Guild as a part of the government that handles accounting, taxation. They're a an accounting and records keeping organization, basically.
It's like telling a child, "Would you like to work for the DMV?"
Right. Or the IRS, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand that, like, meta-wise she would join, and in story she wouldn't.
Well,
Could always
here's the
be
thing. We can still arrange for a story reason for this. Do you want to bet on a game of chance and lose? And you've lost the bet. Now you have to go with this boring as fuck sounding school that you're going to have to go work for the Thieves Guild.
Or another way you could do it is one of these other children considered her friend? And would she want to go to the same school as her friend?
Yeah, that's the other option.
the other thing I had in mind was it could be arranged narratively at some point in the future. We just have to understand outside of the game that the Thieves Guild is going to find out about Mina's abilities and pull some strings to get Mina going to enter with them. That would be my suggestion, at least.
Yeah, we're picking what the options are going to be for next week, not for the rest of her life.
So, I was under the impression that this is entirely picking for like the future. That's where we were going.
The adults definitely want to imply that, but the reality is that your kids change their minds.
Yeah, I think just for now, Mina would go for the highest engineering challenge, and that at the moment does sound like the fishing.
Okay, Mina will join Shari with the fishing guild.
Shari leans over and says, "We're gonna be pirates."
And Mina just sighs.
All right, Vivian, I don't think I need to ask about Araxi. I think that's fishing guild all the way. Is that right?
Yeah, Araxi joined Fishing Guild on the stipulation that she does nothing with regards to the Navy itself. Because Araxi has a strong distaste for anything Salibrae. With Wampy, it's interesting because all of these sound like rules and stipulations, and Wampy doesn't do that. So, I'm inclined to have Wampy sign up for Applied Thaumaturgy on the basis that Wampy already has some magical ability, hasn't fully realized their true druidic potential, but does have it as a prodigy. And also that Troppy's there. And Wampy doesn't really like any of these options, so they'll go with the one with their sibling. Because they can't go to magic school with Francis, because that's not their magic.
Yeah, you
As
can
things,
maybe.
I was going to say, as things move along, it's entirely possible that other guilds will become available, right? Because the loss of the mining cooperative has left an enormous power vacuum. They'd conglomerated so many guilds that no longer exist. Like, there's no guild responsible for lumber at the moment, or metal, or working metal, or making tools, or
There's no smithing guild.
Yeah, there's no smithing. There's like nothing, right? They basically, I mean, they're called the mining cooperative, but they basically subsumed all raw material.
I think the problem for Wampy is just that all of them are guilds, and that means order. And directives, and that they aren't going to let Walpy just, run around the streets as a street kid. Because Walpy does not accept limits. And is going to
Walpy does not accept limits.
That's basically what Walpy is designed.
Well, also, there might be some kind of like concoctions or something that are in the applied thaumaturgy that might also help you transform into that dragon.
Setting Wumpy loose in the applied thaumaturgy field is probably a terrible idea.
It's a great idea. That's why it's a good idea.
Walpy thinks that's really dumb, but I'm sure once Walpy gets in there and realizes what the potential is. Because presumably, if Walpy has an idea, they're going to say, sure, go ahead, try it, see what happens.
They're not exactly scientists.
They kind of are, though.
A little bit. They're very concerned with profit margins.
They're more like startup bros.
Yeah, they're more like startup bros. That's right.
All right, well, Walpy's going to be set loose in the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild, at least for now.
Alrighty. And I think that's everybody. Yup. Okay. Well, I think that brings us to a close for this evening. When we start up next week, we'll start with the new experience policy, which will be that everybody will recount what their characters have done this session and earn a character point for their recounting. And then we'll get into the session where finally going to school will actually be an option for the kids, in addition to adventures, which of course there will be. And when you do go to school, you're going to start learning what the school has to offer, because it's not just improved aptitudes, but all of them are going to have skills and talents that they can teach, and you don't necessarily have to stay with the same school, except for the Mage Academy. You do need to be able to get in, and the Crimson Guard is they're a military organization, so they're not going to be friendly to people flitting in and out as they see fit willy-nilly. But the rest of them, the guilds, you can kind of do as you see fit. You also will be able to do chores. Chores are going to be more valuable than they used to be. So I believe at the moment I'm going to have chores actually earn you a precious coin. Or a valuable coin, sorry, not precious. Valuable coin. Precious is reserved for the gems. We're in the big city now, so it's not chump change anymore. But yeah, that's it. Did anyone have any questions? Anything they want to talk about before we close up?
I haven't figured out what the first one is, but Elros picked up Child of Myrn as well.
Okay, what's that one?
They're one of the Elvish trade lines that don't have like any backup information on them.
Okay, so make something up. Let me know.
Okay, I just needed to figure out what a standard fruit would be. I guess one of the other ones has information. I might be able to base it on that.
Yeah, or talk it out with Ed. He knows the histories of them, and figure out what would make sense. I think that first one, the idea I had was to treat it the same way you treat the Anu's ability to like jump and climb, but for crafting. I thought that would be pretty cool. But as like an idea is like the tangle is like in their hands, so they can feel the crafting better. But yeah, figure out like what you want to do, and let me know.
All right.
So Zara is particularly taxed from that American Gladiator style battle.
Araxi
and
is as well.
Yeah. So Zara's a gnome, and I realized I was reading through the lineage descriptions. She has one called Stone to Stone. Basically, I can hibernate and recover more tax. I just need to like specify how long I'm going to be hibernating. So I figure whenever we go to bed normally, instead of like sleeping, what I'll do is hibernate the right amount of time to recover all of my taxes.
Excellent. That is the correct use of that ability. So that's a good plan.
Cool. And it should be like a normal night's sleep, basically. I only have a couple extra tax to recover over the regular 2 we would have recovered from sleep.
Yeah, and at her age, she doesn't need to do long sleeps the way that the older gnomes do.
Yeah. Also, what does it like? Is there when you get that child one? Is it like just like an upgraded version of it usually?
Yeah. So blood of it is like you have a little trace in you, and then child of it is you need the blood of it as a prerequisite, and child of it is the upgraded super version, where that is your thing. You're not just you don't just have some ancestry with it, but like your parents were that. You're purebred, super whatever it is. So like Blood of Wraithy might mean you've got some like improved vision, but Child of Wraithy means you can literally see the Aether with your eyes.
Okay, so that's his. But if it was the crafting one, what the approved crafting one would be?
Yeah, I don't know. Think it through, talk it out. Let's come up with something good.
Indeed.
For Araxi, I kind of want to just really double down on their just raw athletic ability. To a point that I kind of want Araxi to basically be like that prodigious sports star that everybody knows is going to be a star since they're like 15 or 16. It's kind of what I want Araxi to end up in. So I'm thinking about taking Prodigy with just athletic as the thing. Would that work
Absolutely.
mechanically? Awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm also very. This probably doesn't work the way it is in my head, but I'm very tempted to just also take Prodigy with Whompy and go Chaos, just as their prodigious talent.
Another thing you can do with the Araxi too is once you've got that, yeah, and you've got some potential in that, you could start inventing talents that make use of that potential as the resource that activates them to do cool moves that you come up with. Since we're going to start using character points, one of the things character points can be used for is you can, instead of using it for the 3 experience points, you can just hold on to it, and then during play, if you want to use a talent you don't have, as long as you either meet the prerequisites for it or are just making it up, you can spend a character point to use the talent even though you don't have it. And if you do that for the same talent 3 times, you have the talent. At that point, you've bought the talent, and it's yours, and it's part of your character.
Oh, all right.
Talents are 10 points usually, right?
What's that?
They're 9.
Oh, they're 9? Okay.
9, yeah.
Yeah, that's why when you burn a renown point now, it gives you 9 experience points.
Correct. Exactly
That's
enough
actually
to be
pretty cool. I like the idea of like testing something out before you actually purchase the talent and having it kind of like pay toward.
Well, that's what Avatala did with the invisibility. Basically, Avatala developed the talent to remain invisible while stabbing things or just talking or doing anything that would usually reveal her location. She instead remained invisible through.
Yep.
And that was developed in play.
So I've been doing a lot of work on the rules over the past, I don't know, forever. I have a question. Hold on. Where's my screen? Screen one. There we go. So what do people think of this as a UI? It's not styled just yet, but compared to the old way of going through stuff, it's more book-like.
I personally prefer this because it's very familiar. Whereas I
Yeah,
find
the
I'm
rules not.
constantly scrolling up and down, or I have like the same thing open like 4 times.
Yeah. That's that was my impression as well. I mean, I've still got this again. It's not style. That's terrible. But yeah, but I still have like this kind of view, right? If we need it to put on the sidebar. But actually, this should go away. There we go. So I still have this view, which can still be there to pull up the individual stuff. But this is kind of what I'm going for the document pieces, both for the source rules and also for droplets. One of the cool things about this is that these are now plugins. So this is like a blank wiki with nothing in it.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll pick up next week.
Yep.